guys, and welcome back to another Top 5 in 5. As you know, it is meant to be 5 minutes long, so I'm going to get straight into our first story. And the first story is going to be the Resort 2016 shows. Now, these shows are quite often very big productions, and especially with the big fashion houses, they really go all out. I don't know how much money they must spend, but it's a lot. And yeah, so the three that really stood out for me was Chanel. They showed in Seoul, the capital of South Korea, and their collection was very, very colourful, very quirky. It really matched that kind of like South Korean theme. And then we had Louis Vuitton. They showed in Palm Springs, and it was a very like space age flying saucer-esque house that they showed in. But my favourite was Christian Dior. They used Pierre Cardin's Bubble Palace, which is an amazing building, amazing piece of architecture, just outside of Cannes, and yeah, I thought that show was amazing. The Business of Fashion recently interviewed Ralph Simmons, the creative director, and he said basically the collection was inspired by the kind of rough scenery of the area, the land, the sea, the colour, but also mixed with the glamour and sophistication of Cannes. So you can really see that, I think, in the collection. And yeah, I just thought it was amazing. So yeah, the 2016 resort shows are always such a big spectacle, and they didn't disappoint this year. Okay, so continuing with the Dior theme, my second story is that Rihanna's campaign with Dior, the first images of that campaign have just been released. I know I spoke about Rihanna's campaign with Puma in the last video like this, but now she has also got a campaign with Dior, and the campaign is called Secret Garden 4, and it was shot in the Palace of Versailles. So you can imagine how glamorous and how sophisticated and feminine that the shoot was. She's actually the first black face of Dior, and she just looks stunning. Like the imagery, and there's a really short 15-minute clip that they've also released, and it just looks so luxurious but just so Rihanna. I mean, she just looks stunning. She definitely suits Dior, and yeah, I just love it. I can't wait to see more from that campaign. Okay, so also keeping on another theme that I touched on in the first story with Cannes, we have the Cannes Film Festival. And that's always a very, obviously it's Cannes, again, it's just very, very glamorous. It's one of the biggest red carpets in the world, and we just had the Met Ball, so this is kind of like the next big red carpet. And I had a few favourites from the red carpet. So my favourites so far are Zoe Kravitz and Valentino, and I love her style right now. I tweeted about this the other day. Like, I loved her at the Met Ball, and I love her at the Cannes Film Festival. She just wears things that really complement her body shape, and yeah, I just love it. I also loved Dior, Natalie Portman in Christian Dior, a beautiful red dress. I also loved Naomi Watts in Ellie Saab. I always say, like, if I was ever gonna go onto a red carpet, which you just never know, it might happen, I would love to wear Ellie Saab. Like, the gowns from Ellie Saab are just so dreamy, so beautifully made, and oh, just like perfect for a red carpet. But I also really, really loved Lupita Nyong. I can never say her name. She's obviously a Hollywood actress, but she's gorgeous, and she wore Gucci, and oh my god, that dress, she like always really, when she's on the red carpet, she really knows how to wear a dress, and she was, you know, like flinging it out, and like the camera was just capturing it from all different angles, and it just looked gorgeous on her. But yeah, the festival actually finishes on the 24th of May, so there's many more looks to come, but those are my favourites so far. Okay, so my fourth story of the week is Silicon Valley Fashion Week. It is the first ever Silicon Valley Fashion Week, and although it's Fashion Week, it's actually only 3 days long. And basically, as a Silicon Valley, it might give you the hint, it is all about technology in fashion. So wearable technology and also crowd-funded fashion. And really this highlights the shift in popularity with wearable technology and how technology is becoming more and more involved in fashion. I mean, all you have to do is look at the Apple Watch. and like, you know, obviously that is like a huge product now, but more and more of this is going to come along. Like, you know, in 10-20 years we'll all be wearing things that has technology like intertwined into it. And it's just really all about, like everything in life, it's like all technology is progressing and trying to make life easier, more convenient for the consumer. And yeah, I think it's really exciting to kind of combine technology with fashion. I think it'll take a while for everyone to get on board, and maybe everyone won't get on board, but I think it's, yeah, really cool how you can be wearing a piece of clothing that like measures your heart rate or like enables you to do something else. I don't know, there's just like so many things that, like, you know, it could go, there's so many places it could go, and who knows where we'll be in 10-20 years time. Maybe Silicon Valley Fashion Week will be bigger than Paris Fashion Week. You never know. Okay, so my fifth and final story is kind of two stories put together because I kind of saw a common theme between them, and it's also kind of my opinion as well, so you may feel differently. And the story is basically about models in the fashion industry. There's a couple of things that have come up about models recently that I've noticed. In a recent survey done, it was found that 84% of 2015 ad campaigns, spring 2015 ad campaigns used white models. So obviously, and that was the same percentage almost as last year, so you know, there's no progression being made towards diversity, and there's a huge lack of diversity between colour, body shape, age, race. It's just the same shape, colour and everything that's used right now, and I don't know, some people like that, it just doesn't give diversity, and obviously the world is full of all different people. And then I read another story that came out recently that basically lots of brands, they're now seeing models become more of a personality, more celebrity, and brands are now demanding from models that they have a very strong social media presence of at least 100,000 followers. And I just feel like there's now just so much focus put on like their celebrityism, if that's a word, and their, you know, their fame, rather than how they look in clothes and the clothes themselves and, you know, the product. And I just think it's a shame because obviously brands are understanding, like a lot of the time, like for a long time the fashion industry didn't take on social media, didn't take on digital marketing, but now they are becoming much more open to it, and you know, they're really getting involved, and they see the potential and the money making that can be made from social media and things, but they're not really embracing diversity, and I don't know why. And I just think it's just not very organic. It's very prescribed, choosing models based on their social media presence rather than how they perform in a shoot or how they look and how the product looks on them. I don't know, like, let me know what you think in the comments below. I think that it's really interesting topic, and I know that like a lot of people feel quite strongly about models, whether it's to do with their colour or to do with their body shape. A lot of people think, you know, there should be bigger models in more campaigns, more black women in campaigns. So let me know what you think below. Do you think social media should come into it when it comes to choosing a model? Their social media presence, and you know, do you think there should be more diversity in the modelling world? So yeah, that's like all my stories today. That's the 5 stories. I know this has gone over 5 minutes, but stay with me. I am trying my best to get out as clearly, concisely and quickly as possible. But yeah, I'll get there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're enjoying the series, top 5 and 5. Please give it a thumbs up if you do. And please subscribe to my channel for lots more. And as always, I'll see you in my next video. Okay, bye guys. Mwah.